Hi, everybody, and welcome to Weekend Gameplan with Marcus Hersh. I'm Dan Illman alongside DRF handicapper and analyst Marcus Hersh, who has 3 Weekend Gameplan Saturday spot plays from Gulfstream Park. It's a sensational card highlighted by the Fountain of Youth, which is one of Marcus's 3 stakes picks this weekend. Let's take a look at the field for the Fountain of Youth. And Marcus, I want to talk about Dennis's Moment, the number 5, 2-1 on the morning line, arguably the horse to beat. Listen, he proved himself as one of the better 2-year-olds in the country. He was a big favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. How do you look at his Juvenile? I mean, you could give him the ready-made excuse. He stumbled at the start and lost all chance, but boy, he didn't do anything after that miscue.
Yeah, I don't hold that against him, though. I mean, it was a terrible. He stumbled really, really badly. I think that he was totally taken out of the race, and I have no problem drawing a line through that. I still don't like him in this race, but I mean, I give him every excuse in the world for that. As I wrote in the copy for Weekend Gameplan in Saturday's daily racing form and online. This horse was kind of a man among boys as a 2-year-old, and horses like that have a huge physical maturity edge when they're younger. He grew up fast. He was very strong, large. It's just like the classic situation where the 16-year-old is like a grown man playing against other adolescents. Which is not to say that he too couldn't have grown and gotten better and matured over the winter, but I mean, oftentimes horses that have that early physical advantage, it kind of dissipates as the rest of the generation catches up. And I guess I'll just add one more thing while we're on the topic of Dennis' Moment. I am not the Gulfstream workout analyst. I've not seen the daily racing form workout report for Gulfstream on Saturday up here yet. I'm interested to see what our observers down there have to say. I have personally not been especially taken with the way this horse is working, which I could live with, if he were a 12-1 shot, but he's 2-1 on the line. I think that's a legitimate line. I think he will be favored. And, if he runs well, runs back to his best form as a 2-year-old and is the major contender for the Kentucky Derby, that'll be very exciting. And I'll be interested to see what he has to do as a betting proposition. I will be against him on Saturday.
Your game plan selection is the number 11, Ete Indienne, 8-1 on the morning line for Pat Biancone and Florent Giroux. Let's watch his most recent race. He was in against one of the divisional leaders, if not the outright leader of the division, Grade 1 stakes winner Tiz the Law. He went to the front. He made the pace. He's no match for Tiz the Law. He is easily second best.
Yeah, 11.5 lengths back. Toledo, who I liked in that race, was terribly overbet. I never would have been interested in him at the actual price. I don't know that he's especially talented, but he's not horrible. And this horse smashed him. I mean, Dan, I don't know how you look at it, but I don't see too many horses that I could really imagine winning this race. I mean, as seen on TV and chanted, I think both of them are good. I would rate them pretty equally, and Dennis's Moment, obviously, but to me, it gets pretty short after that. This horse might not be 8-1 because of that, but he might be. And it wasn't just the Holy Bull that I think marks him as a contender here. You can go all the way back to the very first start of his career where I don't know how he won that race. He had an unbelievable outside late rally and a turf sprint. Granted, he had a good setup there, but that was extraordinary. I don't think he handled the Keeneland turf course at all. He just seemed to be spinning his wheels. He finally kicked into gear late in the Bourbon and had the second fastest come home time behind Vitology in that race. He was much the best while racing, I thought, a little bit greenly at Gulfstream in the 1-turn mile, his first start this year, first time on dirt. And then he improved his lead change. I thought he was more relaxed and professional. He was beaten by Tiz the Law, but he was, stretched out to 2 turns. The other horse is a pretty advanced horse. And even though Tiz the Law went past him pretty easily, I thought this horse was kind of a good staying on second in a race that could propel him even farther forward. And from the workouts I've seen, including that really good turf work, 7/8, February 16th, where he worked and come to a Diamond Dukes and got on even terms with him after starting out a few lengths behind. I see a horse here that A, is coming into this race on the upswing with a chance to run the best race of his career, and B, based on his form as a 2-year-old, is perfectly capable of coming from a little bit off the pace if there's too much speed in the race.
No, very versatile. You mentioned that career debut. That was really an eye-catching late run, going 5 furlongs on the turf. I'd expect from this outside post they're going to break, hope to tuck in the second flight while just off the lead and make a big turn move. I think he's very dangerous at that price. Let's go to the Hutcheson. This is the redrawn Hutcheson, Marcus. It's race number 3 at Gulfstream on Saturday. It's 100 grander going 6 furlongs. Let's throw up the field. The morning line favorite in here is the 5, Chivalry, who is second behind the impressive Mischievous Alex in the Grade 3 Swale. He had a 3-race win streak, snapped that day going 7. He's turning back to 6. I'm just not sure he has such an edge over this field that I would take him at a short price.
I don't see that he has much of an edge at all. Additionally, I mean, he's been going steadily since roughly the beginning of time. I don't know how much upside he could have. He's proven durable, that's for sure. But I mean, come on, he's racing. The cutback, I agree, is a help. It seems to me that he might have peaked a couple months ago. I have no fear of that horse or anyone in this race, which is why I like. When I saw King Snake was entered, number 2, he was aroused immediate interest. This is a horse that debuted at Arlington Park, a track that I cover in the summer. I was there the day he debuted. He should have won that race. I mean, I'm not going to, I know some people, like the trainer was not, thought the jockey kind of went to sleep and cost him the race. And that might well have happened, or the horse might have just been still green. In any case, he was well on his way to a comfortable victory when he just kind of put his feet in the ground late. He just didn't stay 2 turns at Prairie, Dan, when stretched out. Second time, I think the 3/4 is what he wants to do. I think he may well be the fastest horse in this race. I know this horse has been working very forwardly at fairgrounds. I wanted to break and take the lead and lead this field all the way.
King Snake, you're right. He had that big lead last time out in his career debut at Arlington, and he did have a big lead in the Prairie Meadows Juvenile. I think that race, we're going to take a look at it. He had a big, easy lead here turning into the stretch, but I think the distance just got the better of him at this point. Maybe he'll stretch out down the road.
I mean, I can't see him going more than a 1-turn mile. Just don't think he's that kind of horse. But I think this is not, to me, an especially tough race. I don't see any horses here that have a ton of upside or also just, I mean, you got horses like Scardo, who ran 1 race. You got a big fig 92 buyer speed figure, or that 1 race going 7/8 where he got loose. Okay, I want to see him do it again. It's that kind of race, and I think this might be the right horse for the right time.
You're right. This might be a spot for a price. Scardo is 3-1 on the morning line after being 75-1 in that starter stakes race last time out.
Exactly.
King Snake is the speed towards the rail. How concerned are you that smash factor might put a lot of pressure on you from the outside?
Yeah, well, he's cutting back from longer races.
That's right.
And I don't know that he's quite as quick. My guess was he wasn't going to be quite as quick. I think that. I think of King Snake, and Florent Giroux has been riding front runners very well. He's been getting horses out of the gate extremely well recently. I think that I'm hoping that he's able to clear that horse and just, get a half, 3/4 length on him down the backstretch, shake him off around the turn. I just think he's a quicker horse maybe right now. I mean, yeah, this horse won at 5/8, smash factor way back as a 2-year-old, but since then he's only gone farther than that. 6.5 is the shortest race he went, and he was hard pressed to make the lead at Gulfstream Park West in that 6.5 furlong race. Just think King Snake might be quicker at this point.
Let's go to our third weekend game plan play. It's in the Palm Beach Stakes at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. We'll take a look at that field right now. Race number 4, Vitology, the number 12. This is your morning line favorite. It's been a bit of a star-crossed horse, Marcus. Drew a terrible post position in the Bourbon, probably got beat because of the post, was forced to take all the way back and come with a really good run. They were going to run him in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. The vets said he couldn't run. The trainer vehemently disagreed. But now he has another lousy post position for his seasonal debut.
Yeah, he really does. His Bourbon was excellent. He was comfortably the best horse in that race. I don't know exactly what that means in the end. He liked Keeneland. Peace Achieved came back and didn't do anything at the Breeders' Cup. Gear Jockey, as in the Hutcheson, in the Fountain of Youth, he has not validated his quality yet either. He's a bit of a quirky one. I mean, Vitology, if he were really 9-2, I think he would be playable. I don't think he's going to be that price. I think he's going to be shorter. I mean, he has not been going full bore in training that long. I just think, I mean, I'm sure they'd love to win the race. I just think he's getting ready to go back to Keeneland and run there again in April. And with this draw, you know, they're just going to hope to get a good run out of him. To me, he's the one horse in the race that I'm pretty sure is pretty good. Everyone else, you know, I don't see. I mean, is there anyone here, Dan, that like really caught your eye as a blooming talent right now?
To be honest with you, not really. I mean, we've got the gatekeepers like Vitology and South Bend, and then you've got horses with upside potential, whether it's Life on Top, whether it's a horse like Fancy Liquor, who is your top game plan selection. We're going to watch Fancy Liquor's career debut, and this horse showed good speed going 2 turns for Michael Maker. But I think the best part of the race we're going to see right now, where he's going to be in a bumping match with this runner-up through the stretch, and despite his inexperience, this horse is just dead game.
I totally agree with you about that being the most important part of his race, because I thought he dug in nicely and really turned that horse back and had the best of him at the wire, asserted his superiority that he won by just a head. I think, to me, the important thing to note was that he did that first out. I mean, Maker rarely has horses cranked to run first time. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not fit, but for whatever reason, the way he goes about his training, and just how he gets them up to a debut, usually they benefit from racing and experience. So I'm looking at this horse in the same light. I mean, he happened to win first time out. He was almost 15-1. It's not like he was like turning everybody's head in the morning and been widely touted. He's, to me, a horse that could take a step forward. He is already, like, I mean, on the buyer figure and on the visual appearance, to me, he's already going to be competitive in this spot. But I think he could run even better. And he strikes me, you know, he went about his business in a relaxed fashion. For whatever reason, there was a timer malfunction. We don't know the splits in that race. I think it was a relatively slow pace, but that is a good thing. He switched off and relaxed, came back to his rider. You got Giroux up here again with Jose Ortiz being out with an injury. And if other horses want to go to the front, I'm guessing that this horse will have little trouble taking back and come with a run. I don't have a good feel for his price. I'd say 5-1 might be on the low end of things. I think that Vitology is going to get bet more than his morning line. So I'm hoping this horse will be at least 5-1, maybe 6, 7, 8-1, and look for him to take a little forward move and maybe get home at a price.
And I think you're right about his potential trip. I think a good forward trip is coming, whether on the lead or just off. I expect him to break. You've mentioned that Giroux has been riding front runners brilliantly lately. If the 6 All Gorilla wants to make the lead, the horse seems hopelessly outclassed on paper. Maybe Fancy Liquor just velcros himself off that horse's hip and gets first run on everybody turning into the stretch. 3 weekend game plan picks for Marcus on Saturday at Gulfstream Park. Well, in the Fountain of Youth, it's number 11, Ete Indian, 8-1 on the morning line. In the Hutcheson, the 2, King Snake, 12-1 on the morning line. In the Palm Beach Stakes, it is the number 5, Fancy Liquor, at 5-1 on the line. Best of luck with your wagers.